Welcome to the Brooklyn Technical High School Virtual College Fair. Thank you very much for joining us today. Before we get started with our presentations, just a few quick housekeeping items to go over. The first is that attendees are welcome and certainly encouraged to ask questions to any of the panelists at any time. You can pose your question to a specific panelist, or you can ask a general question to any and all of the panelists. If you're asking a question to a specific panelist, please try to put that school's name in the question. If you're asking a general question, something like to all, and then your question. Also, just a reminder that your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists will not be able to see or hear you. And there are additional sessions tomorrow and the following day. So if you haven't signed up for those yet, please do so. And about 1 week from today, a recording of the session will be available at strivescan.com/BrooklynTech. Without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and turn it over to our panelists. And up first, we'll hear from Johns Hopkins University.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ruth Lee, and I am an admissions officer at Johns Hopkins. As you can see on my screen is just an overview of what Hopkins, some basic logistics of who we are and where we're located. We're located in Baltimore, Maryland, and we are known for a lot of the research that we currently are working on, as well as in the humanities and in the social behavioral sciences, as well as in the natural sciences and in engineering. What you'll also find at Hopkins is several different things, not just the research focus and ways of learning, but also our liberal arts foundation and allowing students to explore with flexibility what they're genuinely passionate about and what they are genuinely interested in pursuing to help them really figure out what they might want to become or how they want their future to evolve. So typically our undergraduate students are in the Homewood campus in Charles Village, which is a little bit, it's in the middle of Baltimore, and along with all the other campuses, we have the greater Baltimore area, as well as DC. We have master's programs, but as well as graduate programs that students can actually explore through internships and research. Some of our students are very fascinated by our public health programs, and we'll also pursue a direct matriculation program through our Bloomberg School of Public Health. And then other students will do something similar with SCIS, which is our Advanced International Studies. Some students are also very fascinated with music. And so we have the Peabody Institute, and the Peabody Institute is a world-class conservatory that allows students to have a dual degree, or you can just pursue music as a minor and take classes, have private instruction, also do some other activities, whether it's in the extracurricular realm or just fun different things that you used to pursue as hobbies, whether it's in the orchestra or singing, opera, all of those different things. Christopher, how much time do I have left?
You have about 3.5 minutes.
Okay, so I can talk a little bit more about the academic culture of Hopkins because there's so much flexibility and freedom. There are a lot of our students end up double majoring or even minoring. It's just one way that our students are developing critical thinking skills, and there are different ways to do this. A lot of times students want to develop critical thinking skills outside of their classroom through applied experiences. So I mentioned that we have a lot of research opportunities for our students. Some of our students might be pursuing research in the natural sciences, inducing heart attacks in mice to see the connections and how to rehabilitate the cardiovascular system the fastest and how it translates over to the human body. Other students are doing research on Billie Holiday or redlining and the impact of poverty of redlining and gentrification in Baltimore and what that does in terms of displacement. We also have students who are fascinated and really engaged in the community. So through the community impact internship, our students are able to connect with citizens of Baltimore, serve the community through nonprofit organizations, or be involved in local Baltimore politics and in the local government. We have students going abroad as well to pursue their academic or international interests. students who are interested in pursuing and immersing themselves in a culture that is new to them, whether it's taking classes in Hong Kong or going to South America or visiting a different continent or other different countries. There's a wide variety of options. Some students will do an internship, research, and take classes while they're abroad. And we've had students go multiple times. But of course, right now we're in the middle of a pandemic, so things are a bit limited. And that kind of wraps up our applied experiences. I can answer any questions related to that. I think I already see some questions. Yes, Hopkins is located in an urban area. Baltimore it's a smaller city. We sometimes call it Smaltimore because over time, people tend to get to know one another, and you'll see that there's a lot of university networks, and students will get to know other universities, as well as if you continue to stay in the city of Baltimore, there's a lot of different neighborhoods. People tend to stay and build their network there. Are the classes at Hopkins more discussion-based or lecture-based? And are there any required classes outside of major? So in terms of, it depends on the class that you are taking. Some of them will be a little bit more discussion-based. We have seminars that are more discussion-based, and those can be found in all areas, whether it's the humanities or in the quantitative areas. And then some are more lecture-based, and you'll find some of those in the sciences. At the same time, even the sciences have a lot of hands-on experiences. So for our engineers, they have a lot of project-based learning, team-related engineering projects. So it really varies, and you won't ever be stuck with one style of learning at Hopkins. And then there's another question about what kind of internships are available. So they vary wide and vastly. Some of them are in the areas of medicine. Others are in the areas of engineering. Some of our students have had internships with Under Armour, creating athletic gear for Under Armour. Other students are doing environmental engineering or environmental studies, studying the impact of global or climate change. Other students are interested in politics, and sometimes they're involved in DC politics and interning for a congressman and congresswoman or a senator. Some of our students are, so essentially there's lots of options. And I think, is my time up, Christopher? Okay,
yes,
so I will stop.
That's okay. Thank you very much, John Hopkins. If students have additional questions for anybody who came late, please do feel free to send them through for the institutions via the Q&A. But up next, we're going to move to Montclair State University.
All right, I'm just gonna share my screen real fast. All right, hi everyone. My name is Anisha Sani. I'm an admissions counselor at Montclair State. I'm going to do a quick PowerPoint and then you can ask any questions you might have. So Montclair State is of course located in Montclair State, New Jersey. We have around 21,000 students total on campus, but our classes do tend to be smaller. There's usually 25 students per class. So you do get that one-on-one interaction with your professor and really get to know the students around you. We are also just 12 miles away from New York City. So it's pretty easy and quick to go back and forth. We actually have 2 train stations right on campus. If you did want to go back and forth, whether it was for like an internship, a project, or just for fun. And we have over 300 majors, minors, and concentrations to choose from. So there's just a few of our little accolades that we're very proud of. We're very well known for our dance program, our business program. We're military friendly, as well as one of the top 25 LGBTQ plus friendly campuses, and one of the top 100 colleges for Hispanic students. So as I mentioned before, we have over 300 majors for you to choose from. There's minors as well as concentrations. And these are just a few. So we have our most popular majors listed out here, but like I said, there's a wide range to choose from. Feel free to check out our website to go through each of them and figure out which one really speaks to you. You know, we're very well known for education. We have a lot of students coming in wanting to be teachers, as well as psychology. Business is another big one because we offer a lot of different concentrations within business. So if you want to focus more on marketing or real estate, entrepreneurship, there's like different programs within that for you. Computer science and exercise studies, science have actually recently joined this list, as well as justice studies, which has been very popular at Montclair. We have a lot of students coming in wanting to go into law enforcement or pre-law. Our discovery program has also become very popular. It's a undeclared program where you can pick a track, and through the track, you can kind of figure out what major would work for you. So say you're interested in working with children, but you don't know if you want to be a teacher or a child psychologist or a social worker. The education service and society track would be perfect for you. We also offer combined programs. So with certain majors, you could get your bachelor's and your master's within 5 years, as well as a MBA program that works similarly with other majors. Besides academics, we have quite a few activities on campus. There's over 120 different clubs and organizations. There's clubs for different, cultures, majors, activities. You can find a club for pretty much any interest you may have. And if you can't find one, you can always start your own. We have Greek life on campus, as well as intramural sports and Division III sports for both men and women. And another thing we're very popular for is study abroad. A lot of our students study abroad. We have over 200 programs spanning 60 countries. And I would say if you get a chance, definitely study abroad. It's a really great way to broaden your horizons, see a new country, and just learn so much more. Our most popular countries tend to be Australia, France, Spain, and Italy. But again, there's a wide range for you to choose from. We also do the Disney program, which is, again, very popular. Who doesn't love Disney, right? And then when it comes to applying, you can apply one of three ways, through the Common App or through our website, whichever works best for you. I'm just gonna skip to the end here. Oh, okay. So with everything going on, we are virtual with a lot of our events. So if you are interested in attending, check out our website. You can attend virtual info sessions for different topics within financial aid, residence life, general info. We have a virtual tour, but we do have in-person tours as well. So if you're in the area or you're interested, I highly recommend coming. You would just have to follow certain protocol, but it'd be a great way for you to check out the campus. If you wanted to go by yourself, you can even print out a map and do a self-guided tour. Other than that, if you guys have any questions, my email's right here and you can reach out. Let's see if there's any questions here. Oh, okay. Do any colleges have a dual major? Yeah, you can double major. Typically, you would discuss that with an academic advisor, but for wherever you end up going, I would say make sure you keep track of what you're doing, because rigorous majors can be difficult to keep up with. So you want to make sure you're keeping up with both and you're able to finish them on time, or maybe if you have to take more time to finish them out, you want to be prepared for that. And it is possible to speak to people within different departments. I see someone here is interested in chemistry and natural sciences. You would just reach out to one of the admissions counselors and we can put you in contact with someone. Yeah. Do I have any time left, Chris?
You do. You have about a minute left. If there's anything else you want to add, if not,
another thing I want to add, let's see. Other than that, no, I think I'm all set. My email's right there. I can put it in the chat if you guys think of anything later on. Research wise, I see this group is very big on research. Becoming a research assistant is a very good internship opportunity. I would highly recommend it. So if you are interested, you can always talk to a professor or just go to like career services and they can help set you up. Other than that, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Montclair State. Up next, we're going to move to Stevens Institute of Technology.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. And then, can you see me okay? All right. I'm just going to. Awesome. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Ryan Malinzak. I am one of the assistant directors of undergraduate admissions here at Stevens, and I'm responsible for all students that go to school in Brooklyn. So I am your direct counselor. I can put my contact info in the chat after. So I'm trying to give you as much information as I can in 6 minutes. So something I like to talk about is what sets us apart from other institutions. So first off, it's always our location. So we're in Hoboken, New Jersey. I live in Hoboken myself. This is actually a map of Hoboken above my head. That's how much I like it. It's such a unique place to live and study. So there's so much to do within Hoboken, and you're so close to New York City. So I always say a Stevens student has the best of both worlds, because you can have that very traditional college campus, but have New York City right at your fingertips without being a quote unquote city school. So you do have that traditional college campus in the middle of Hoboken with easy access into New York City. We are definitely known for our excellence in research and professional opportunities. So our students have tons of research opportunities, tons of internship and co-op opportunities, which I'll talk about a little bit more later on, and return on investment. You know, our students are getting jobs very quickly and they tend to be really high paying jobs as well. So here at Stevens, we do have 5 areas of study. So we have the School of Science, Business, Computer Science, Humanities and the Arts, and Engineering. So there's all different concentrations within these different schools. You know, definitely what Stevens is known for is computer science and engineering, but we absolutely have incredible programs in all different areas. And when you do apply to Stevens, you do have to apply to a specific area of study. So you can't apply undecided, but you can apply business undecided or engineering undecided as well. We have a really active and robust student life here at Stevens. So we do have over 100 clubs and activities for our students to get involved in. We have tons of performing arts opportunities. We have an a cappella group, street plays, musicals, pretty much everything in the arts. We do have 25 Division III varsity sports. We also have recreational and intramural sports as well for our students. We will have a clubs and activities fair in the fall semester, so you can go and chat with the different advisors of the clubs to find out how you get involved. We also have fraternities and sororities. We have educational sororities and fraternities as well. And we also have tons of opportunities for community service as well. So there's really something for everyone, just depending on what you're interested in. So going back to our location, so we people refer to Hoboken as the square mile city or the most walkable city. So you can see on the top right hand side of your screen, you can see really how close we are to New York City. We're right on the other side of the Hudson River. So you can walk to the PATH train. So that's about a 10-minute walk from campus, hop on the PATH, take that into Lower Manhattan or Midtown Manhattan. And then the really great thing about Stevens is our access into the main street of Hoboken. So a 5-minute walk from campus is Washington Street, which is like the main street. So you have access to grocery stores, pharmacies, coffee shops, restaurants. So everything you need is accessible by foot. Especially for you all being in Brooklyn, you do have the opportunity to commute if you wanted to, which is great, just using mass transit. You can get into Hoboken about 45 minutes, depending where you are in Brooklyn, or you could live on campus as well. So it is nice that you do have that opportunity to commute or live on campus if you wanted to. On the bottom left-hand side of your screen, this is our brand new Housing and University Center. So this is the biggest construction project Stevens has taken on since the college has opened. We're going to house those 2 buildings are 15-story residence halls. They're going to house about 1,000 students. And then attached to that, we're going to build our brand new University Center. So that's going to house brand new workout facilities, dining services, and that's going to be our hub for clubs and activities. So that's going to be our main hub on campus. We're really, really excited about this project. And it's slated to be completed for the fall of 2022, and it's going to house our sophomore students. So we're really excited about this. But yeah, just being in Hoboken, there's so much accessible to at your fingertips for internships and things like that. So we're going to kind of move on to professional opportunities here. So all of our students are eligible for internships. So we have a really hands-on career services department that will work very closely with our students. They'll help you make connections to find those internships. So all of our students are eligible for internships. We have a really fantastic co-op program. So that's our cooperative education program. That's available for all of our computer science and engineering students. I don't have too much time to dive into that, but if you do have questions about co-op, feel free to message me and I talk to you about that. But that's essentially a more full-time job. So you actually take 2 full semesters off. You get a full-time job while you're in school. So it's a really unique professional opportunity. We have tons of research opportunities and then study abroad as well. Currently, we're ranked 17th in the nation for best return on investment. We have a 96% job placement rate within 6 months of graduation. 80% of our students seniors walked at graduation with a full-time job ready to go. Our average starting salary right now is about $77,000. So well above the national average starting salary and 11th in the nation for best career placement. So here at Stevens, we are a common application school. So once you submit your common app to Stevens, we're also going to require your official high school transcript, 2 letters of recommendation, so one from a guidance counselor and one from a teacher. We have chosen to go test optional because of the pandemic. So it's absolutely up to the student's preference if you want to submit the test score or not. Majority of our students do come in through that regular decision application, which has a deadline of January 15th. We also have early decision 1 and 2. All students are automatically considered considered for merit-based scholarships when they apply to the college. If you want to apply for financial aid, you must submit the FAFSA as well as the CSS profile. Any students that are academically accepted into the college will get your financial letter with your decision letter. Feel free to reach out to us. I think I'm out of time, but I will put my contact info in the chat. Thank you all. And I think I did it.
You did. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Stevens. Up next, we're going to move to the University of Pittsburgh.
All right, let me go ahead. Share the screen. Hi, everybody. My name is Jordan Winfrey. I operate as an admissions counselor with the University of Pittsburgh's Office of Admissions. Go ahead and get started here. Speak to you a little bit about the University of Pittsburgh. All right, so we are actually settled in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is in the western part of Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh is a really unique place. It's comprised of close to 90 different neighborhoods altogether, and every neighborhood has sort of their own identity. So we're actually settled in the Oakland neighborhood of the city of Pittsburgh. Oakland is a really sort of inclusive environment. We share Oakland with Carnegie Mellon University and Carlow University. So it's a really inclusive place to be. We're considered to be a medium-sized urban campus. We have a student population of close to 20,000 undergraduate students altogether. So we're not too big, we're not too small. You can check out some of these pictures here. You see that we still have the best of both.
Jordan, sorry to interrupt you. Just to know, we're still seeing the first slide, the Pitt slide with the Cathedral of Learning.
Really? Okay.
Don't worry, I've paused your time.
All right.
You might stop your screen share and restart it if it froze.
Okay, let me stop it. Sorry about that. And this. All right. Does it show Oakland?
No, and it's not going to full screen right now. We still see all the kind of slides on the left side.
Okay. All right, I'll just go off this. Does this say Oakland? All right, sorry about that. Like I said, so we're settled in Oakland. Oakland is a really unique place, comprised of close to 20,000 undergraduate students. So we're not too big, we're not too small. We're sort of right in between. Just gonna go ahead and skip some fast facts about us. We have 10 undergraduate schools altogether and over 100 programs to choose from. Some of our more popular majors are listed here. We're really strong when it comes to the pre-medicine field, health-related field, engineering, computer science, business. Really, students come from all over the world to attend Pitt for a number of different reasons and a number of different programs. And a lot of our programs are nationally ranked. So although we are really strong in the sciences and medical field and engineering, we have a really strong humanities and liberal arts programs as well. We have a 14-to-1 student to faculty ratio. And close to 70% of undergraduate classes have less than 30 students. So that's actually something that I was always sort of impressed with, especially considering our size. We like to keep the classes pretty small. I'm gonna go ahead and skip to the next screen here. So as an incoming student, incoming freshmen are able to apply to one of 5 freshman entry-level schools. They're listed here. So we have the Dietrich School of Arts and Sciences. We have the College of Business Administration, the Swanson School of Engineering, the School of Computing and Information, and the School of Nursing. And the School of Arts and Sciences houses all of our natural sciences, social sciences, liberal arts degrees, fine arts degrees, things like that. Then we have the College of Business Administration, which houses our 7 different business majors, including accounting, marketing, and finance, just to name a few. We also have the Swanson School of Engineering, which houses our 10 undergraduate engineering majors, including electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, things like that. We have the School of Computing and Information, which houses all of our computer science and information sciences program, and our School of Nursing, which houses our undergraduate 4-year direct entry BSN level nursing program. We also have 5 upper level division schools. These schools, typically students start in the Dietrich School of Arts and Sciences. So you cannot apply directly to these schools. You have to start in the Dietrich School of Arts and Sciences. And then typically after the first 2 years in the School of Arts and Sciences, you would apply to transfer into the school which houses your respective interests. And depending on your program, different programs have different completion requirements and timeframes. So for example, if you're interested in our pharmacy program, you will be starting in the Dietrich School of Arts and Sciences for 2 years. And then after 4 years, then you'll be transferring into the School of Pharmacy for an additional 4 years. And it's a 6-year program. You'll be graduating with your PharmD degree. So it all depends on the program that you're interested in. As far as student life is concerned, we have 700 different student clubs and organizations to choose from. We have a really robust student life. We have anything from community service-based organizations, fraternities and sororities, community service-based organizations, pretty much anything that you could think of. We have over 350 study abroad programs, which span to close to 75 countries. We are part of the Division I. We're part of the ACC in terms of sports. We have a number of different varsity sports. We also have intramural sports and club sports as well. We also have a 100% internship guarantee program available for all of our students. So you don't necessarily just have to be a business student to secure an internship with us. We actually have a career services office, and they actually have a 100% internship guarantee program for all of our students, so long as they complete the internship prep program, which has things such as resume building workshops, job interviewing workshops, things like that. Pittsburgh is a great place for internships and working experiences. Pittsburgh is home to 6 Fortune 500 companies and over 400 different startup companies. So many students are getting some sort of hands-on work experience. I'm going to skip right to the application process. So we practice rolling admissions. That means you can apply to us at any time. Although I do encourage students to apply early. Early in this case would be before November of the senior year, just because seats tend to fill up pretty fast. So the earlier that you apply, the better. There's 5 parts of the application that we're looking for. We're looking for the application itself. We're part of the Common App, the Coalition app, and we also have our own standalone application on our website. There's no preference for one application platform over the other. So whatever's convenient for you. We're looking for a $55 application fee. Your academic record, that could take the shape of your high school transcript, or we also have a self-reported academic record, which allows students to record their own grades or in their own coursework. We did introduce a test optional policy for this past year. So students are able to apply and be considered with test scores or without test scores, whatever is convenient for you. And then we also have short answer essay questions, which could be found as part of our application, which we highly encourage students to complete. And that's pretty much it. So here's my contact information. I'm available to answer any questions that you guys have in the chat, or you guys can feel free to go ahead and email me or give me a phone call if you guys have any additional questions.
Thank you very much, University of Pittsburgh. Up next, we're going to move to Western Connecticut State University.
Hey, let me okay, give me a second on this. Always having problems with this. Okay, can you see this? Can you see the screen? The Western screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Sorry about the glare. Good evening, everyone. My name is Carlton Lee, and I'm the Associate Director of Admissions here at Western Connecticut State University. Thank you for inviting me here today. It's kind of interesting because I'm a transplanted New Yorker, not from Brooklyn, but from the Bronx. So it's always good to be doing presentations back in my hometown. One of the nice things about Western Connecticut is a typical New England school, around a little under 6,000 students. So the classrooms are extremely small, no more than 25 students in the classroom. So it really gives you that one-to-one attention, which I'm a really advocate for. The other nice thing about WestCon is our location. We're around 60 miles outside of New York City. We're really outside of Brewster, New York. And we're about a 2-hour train ride from Grand Central Station. So I always say, because of the location of Western, we're far enough away where you have that independency from your family, but then on the other hand, you're close enough to home where if something came up, you can get home relatively quick. Or if you participate in some type of sport or any type of activity where your family and friends can actually watch you perform while you're going through your college career. So some of the unique things about Western. As I mentioned before about Western, it's the small classrooms which are really appealing. Student-teacher ratio is around 12-1, and we do have 4 separate schools, and we have actually 50 different majors at Western. We have over 75 different clubs and organizations, and I want to stop briefly on that. I always encourage students, regardless of where you attend school, make sure you join the club or organization that pertains to your major. This way, maybe once a month or maybe once every 2 or 3 months, you'll have a guest speaker come inside from the outside, from the private sector, and they'll talk to you about your major. So you get a lot of information. So I always advocate for joining the clubs and organizations that pertains to your major. We are Division III in sports. We have 18 different varsity sport programs at Western. If you're not interested in playing a varsity sport, we also have intramural sports. One of the nice things about Western, we understand that there are some students that are not 100% sure about their major. So we have a large academic advising center. And in this advisement center, we give you an opportunity to meet with an academic advisor for up to 3 months. We encourage students to use the 3 months that they have to pick a major. So you don't have to go into school and pick a major right away. We want to give you a time, an opportunity to really investigate and expose yourself to different majors. We understand we have 50 majors at Western, but we also understand that you probably weren't exposed to 50 majors in high school. So we want to give you that opportunity to expose yourself to different majors. I'm going to skip by a couple of things because they're very common, but one of the things I do want to discuss that we have at Western, we actually have programming within the residential dorms at Western. So if a student ever needs any type of tutoring in any particular subject, it's readily available within the dormitories. They never have to leave the dormitories. And then we also have a very large career success center. This is the office that will help you out with internships and co-ops and things of that nature. As I mentioned before, we have 50 different majors at Western. Some of the more popular majors at the university are first and foremost are going to be our business program, criminal justice, our nursing program, and our visual and performing arts program, just to name a few of the more popular programs we have at the university. I'm going to go into our schools very briefly. I know I don't have a lot of time. As I mentioned, we have 4 separate schools at the university. Our first and foremost, our Ansel School of Business. And one of the nice things about the business school is because of our proximity to New York, many of our business majors, along with our BPA majors, have the opportunity to do interns and co-ops right down in the city. And we all know that these interns and co-ops are the things that lead to full-time positions after you graduate. Our Maricosta School of Arts and Sciences is probably the largest school on campus. One of the unique majors in this particular school is our meteorology program. We actually do the weather reporting for the southeastern corridor of the Connecticut right on our campus. So that's kind of something unique we have at Western. Our School of Professional Studies, a little smaller school. It houses our nursing program, which is currently ranked 2 in New England, along with our education programs and our social work programs. Our Visual and Performing Arts Center, I want to briefly speak about that because that's the newest school at the university. It's a structure that was just completed in 2014, $112 million structure. It houses all of our music majors, including music theater, traditional theater, tech theater. We also have a full array of music programs, including music production. We actually have our own recording studio right on campus. So it makes it kind of unique having this facility right on our campus. And in addition to that, we have a full array of art programs from graphic design, illustration, and photography. And similar to our business program, many of our visual and performing arts majors actually have the opportunity to work down in New York City. And once again, these are the positions that lead to full-time jobs after you graduate. As I mentioned before, we are Division III in sports. We actually participate in the Little East Conference. If you are interested in the sport, we actually have a link right on our website. You can actually go onto the link and get in contact with one of our coaches, and they will reach out to you regarding our sports programs. As far as admissions is concerned at Western, we try to keep our doors accessible. Last year, we were looking for around 1,100 SAT minimum, but we are SAT optional. So that gave more students an opportunity to apply to the university. We do have a number of scholarships available, from a presidential scholarship for $10,000 to an honor scholarship for $2,000. In addition to that, there are a number of scholarships available on campus based upon your performance at the university. And financial aid, I just want to stay on this a little. As I mentioned before, one of the unique things about Western, we actually offer New York and New Jersey residents in-state tuition and fees. So attending a school like Western is going to cost you similar to attending one of your SUNY schools. And I think Christopher just popped up to tell me that my time is running up, but that's Western as a whole. I'll put my information in the chat box if you have any questions at the end of the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Western Connecticut. And our final presentation today is going to come from Western New England University.
All right, let's get started here. I'm going to share my screen. All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for having me here today. My name is Alyssa. I'm an Assistant Director of Admission at Western New England University. Western New England is a small private institution located in Springfield, Massachusetts. You can see on the map over on the left side of the screen, kind of where we're located. It's on the western side of the state. We are about a 3 to 4 hour bus or train ride from the city, depending on what time of day you are traveling. But it's a pretty convenient trip just to hop right on the train or the bus and head right into the city. Springfield itself is a city, but we are located on more of the suburban end of things. So we are definitely more of a suburban campus. You can see a small picture of what campus looks like up in the left corner of the screen as well. You'll see, based on the information presented in front of you, that we are a smaller school. So we have about 2,600 undergraduate students total and about 1,000 graduate students as well. Being a smaller school, we really emphasize the importance of a small class size. We really find that our students do the best when they are in that smaller environment and they're getting that personalized and individualized attention from their faculty members. It's about a 12-to-1 faculty to student ratio with an average class size of about 18 students. You're actually never going to have a class with more than 35 students at Western New England. We really do keep it very small to make sure that you have those opportunities to connect with your faculty members and feel really connected with your classmates as well. In terms of majors, we have 40 plus majors and undergraduate programs for students to consider. You'll see at the bottom of the screen listed out our different colleges, which is where we house those majors. So the College of Arts and Sciences is our biggest college, and it's a nice combination of hard science programs like chemistry, biology, forensic chemistry, forensic biology, health sciences, things like that, as well as social sciences like psychology and criminal justice, and some liberal arts programs like English or creative writing as well. Our College of Business is a nice collection of AACSB accredited business programs. That probably means absolutely nothing to you right now as a high school student, but when you're looking into the workforce, they're going to see that you're coming from that accredited program, which less than 5% of business schools in the country have. So we pride ourselves on providing some really quality business education to our students. We also have a really robust College of Engineering with ABET accredited engineering programs. Similar to AICSB, when you're looking at jobs in the engineering field, those employers are going to see that you're coming from that accredited program. And we also have a College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences and a School of Law, which primarily are housing our graduate side of things. So we do have a Doctor of Pharmacy program, a Doctor of Occupational Therapy program, and we do have a JD program for students who are looking to go into law. In terms of athletics, you can see our list of sports that we offer at the institution as well. We have 20 Division III varsity athletics that students can participate in. So as you may know, Division III is not as competitive as Division II or Division I, but we do have some very strong success with our teams over the last couple of years. For example, our football team has come in first in its conference the last 5 years in a row, with the exception of this year where they weren't really able to compete, unfortunately, to get that title again, but we're definitely anticipating them doing very well in the future as well. You can also see here that we are #1 in Massachusetts and #5 in the nation for getting a job, according to the college scorecard. So basically what that means is if you are coming to Western New England, there's a really, really good chance that you're going to find a job pretty soon after graduation, and it's going to be a good job for you to get. So being that smaller school, we have some really great opportunities for you to connect really personally, not only with your professors, but other staff members on campus that are going to guide you towards that career opportunity. So you know, you're in these small class sizes with your fellow classmates. You have a career advisor that's going to help you seek opportunities for internships or jobs after graduation. They're going to help you kind of tailor your resume, can do things like mock interviews and things like that to really get you prepared for the workforce, which is kind of why we are doing so well in terms of job placement. And in addition to that, being that smaller school, you have a lot of opportunities for really engaging with your fellow classmates in some involvement opportunities. So we have around 70 clubs or organizations that you can get involved in, and you have some great opportunities for leadership within those organizations as well. So if you are kind of a leader in your classes right now, if you feel like you want to really be involved and kind of build yourself personally outside of academics, you have some really strong opportunities to do that. And I know a big concern that we get from students who are coming from the New York area is, being out of state, what is there to do? What's it like in Springfield? I've never been to Springfield before. So like I said, we are on a suburban end of the city of Springfield. Springfield itself, though, is the 4th largest city in New England. So there's a lot going on directly in downtown in terms of nightlife, things to do, really great restaurants and stuff like that. But it is a little quieter on our end of things where our campus is located. You'll also see some of the surrounding cities that are close to us. We're very close proximity to Hartford, Connecticut. So if you're looking for opportunities for internships, for example, a lot of students will get internships right in Hartford, which is only about 45 to 50 minutes away from campus. And we're about an hour and a half drive from Boston as well. So lots of things to do kind of in the area around us. I would be remiss if I didn't mention some of the scholarships that are listed on the screen here as well. Every student who comes to Western New England and is accepted is automatically awarded a merit scholarship based on academic performance from high school, as well as test scores if you would like to submit them, but they are optional. So between $10,000 and $22,000 per year for that. Every woman who is accepted into our business and engineering programs automatically receives an additional $5,000 per year. And then there's some other various scholarships listed as well. But I see that my time is up, so I will stop talking. Thank you so much. I'm going to put my contact information in the chat as well.
Thank you very much, Western New England, and thank you again to all of our panelists for your great presentations. We do have time remaining, so attendees, if you have any additional questions, please do feel free to send them through the Q&A. If I could ask the panelists to turn their videos back on, and we can do a round of questions here ourselves, a quick round of questions. So my question to you all would be, what's one thing you did not have time to include in your presentation that you'd like to quickly introduce now? Perhaps that's your favorite event or tradition on campus, a fun fact about your school, an interesting question you saw coming through the Q&A that you'd like to address, etc. And so we'll go in that same order, starting with Johns Hopkins.
So I think that I just didn't get a chance to really talk about the experience that it has been like for our students currently in the pandemic. Our students are currently back on campus, living on campus or around campus. And so as we were transitioning through remote, we had a lot of different opportunities for ways that students could connect. Of course, this coming year, we are still test optional as we were last year. And in order to help students just assimilate back into a more normal environment, we are still following all CDC precautions and safety regulations. But of course, things can always change, and we're currently monitoring all of those things. But in terms of the academic experience for our students, it's been through various means, through Zoom, through Microsoft Teams, but also students have been given the opportunity to connect with their peers through different activities and also their professors. A lot of our students actually have had at least at least 50% of our students, 50 to 60% of our students have had at least one in-person class. And so we hope to be able to increase that by fall.
Great, thank you. Montclair State.
Something I wanted to mention that I didn't get to is we do have a great out-of-state scholarship for our out-of-state students. So as long as you have around 3.0, we review everything, you would actually be charged in-state tuition rather than the out-of-state. And I guess a quick fun fact would be our mascot is very important to us. Every time it's his birthday, it's a whole weekend celebration.
Great, thank you. Stevens?
I was actually going to say the same thing as Ruth from Johns Hopkins, but I was just going to kind of talk about what this year looks like and what the fall is looking like at Stevens. So we did invite freshmen the first semester, and now we currently have freshmen and seniors on campus. So they had a hybrid kind of format for this full year. All students were obviously offered to go fully virtual as well. We were doing weekly testing, things like that. So students still were able to have a pretty as normal experience as this year could have offered. And the great thing, again, being in Hoboken, there's a lot to do on and off campus as well. And then in the fall, we're really excited, but we have announced that we are going to invite the entire campus back. So all 4 years are going to come back. We're requiring the vaccine, all that stuff, masks still on campus and things like that. But we're really excited to return to what this new normal is going to look like. So we're looking forward to that. And they did a really great job at transitioning into the virtual world. Our students were still getting virtual internships. We still kept the same job placement rate and things like that. So, they did a nice job with the transition there. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Pitt?
Yeah, so I didn't get a chance to really speak about scholarships. So we do offer scholarships to all. We review every student that applies to Pitt for scholarships. This past year, the scholarship, priority scholarship consideration deadline was December 15th. So although we do practice rolling admissions, again, it is really important for students to apply early, especially if you want to be considered for scholarships. Next year is probably going to be December 15th as well. So we offer scholarships that range from $2,000 all the way up to full tuition, room and board.
Thank you. Western Connecticut?
Nothing in particular. I just want to say to the students, I think, regardless of where you attend college, it's what you make of it. And I think you're all going to be very successful. One thing I would say, make sure you connect with the university. And a great way to do that is find employment on the college, on campus. That's a great way to connect. You'll get a lot of information. That's my tip. Get a job on campus. I think that opens up a lot of doors. A great way to connect to the university.
Great, thank you. And Western New England?
Not to completely take what other folks are talking about as well, but in terms of kind of how this past year looked for us. So I mentioned we're a smaller school. We were able to really successfully open fully, pretty much fully in person. This past academic year, about 70% of our courses were in person. So students were living on campus and able to attend classes in person, which has been a really great experience for them. For some of our programs like engineering and those hard science majors where students are really looking for those lab-like experiences where they're really doing some hands-on learning, they did have that opportunity to continue that this year. So, for those students in particular, that was a very, very welcomed experience for the academic year. But for everyone, we got to see some really great ingenuity from students who were finding ways to program and have events and have stuff to do on campus in this really wild COVID world. So it's been a really challenging year, but it's been very, very successful at Western New England. So it was definitely exciting to see our students really take the year with stride.
Thank you. Thank you again to all of our panelists for your great presentations and your additional insights. Attendees, we hope you gain some good knowledge out of this, and we'll continue these conversations with these institutions. This is just the beginning. Now you can dive deeper, ask more questions, and contact them individually. But this does bring us to the end of the session. So thank you again to everybody for joining us. When you do close this window, you will receive a very quick 4-question survey that we ask you to complete. Again, there are sessions tomorrow, the following days. So if you haven't signed up for those yet, please do so. And about 1 week from today, recording of this session will be available on that same registration website. Thank you again. And to all the students out there, good luck and enjoy your college search. Have a great evening.